Hey, what's up, fellow day traders? Mike here with the watch list video for Monday, July 10th. There's Friday's daily candle. Um, I guess we got down a little bit, had a nice rally, and then went all the way back down. Look at the 5 minute candles here. Went all the way back down to the low of day by the end of the day. So, again, a lot of people think, oh, shooting star, which I guess technically that's not because it would be up. I don't know. Anyway, I don't ever give a lot of weight. I used to, right? I don't ever give a lot of weight to the action of one particular day anymore. So I'm going to do what I always do and start my day with a list of stocks to watch to hopefully catch some day trades in because I do not hold overnight. So what are we watching, or what am I watching on Monday? GRRR, massive volume and a big breakout on Friday. Closing well off its highs, but we'll see what happens, see if it gives a setup on Monday. Again, I've talked about these charts. It's only been trading for 2 days. I would prefer that these two candles are over here on the right and all of this was blank, but that's just the way TradeStation does it. But anyway, a huge move in PWM. I actually had a nice trade. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw that I took on Friday back through 16. It happened pretty quick, so it was some real fast money there. Certainly extended. It's only been trading for 2 days, right? But it's had a huge move. But I'm a day trader, so I'm definitely going to keep that one on a chart. I'm interested in AHI because it had this big rip back here. Then tried to do a second one, but got ugly. But then what? This would have been, well, one day last week had a big range. This green day right here, look at the numbers there. A low of 410 and a high of 668. That's a massive intraday move. And now you've got 1, 2, 3 days in a row lower on declining volume. So it's still a decent setup for a bounce play the way we teach in our chat room. So that's what I'm going to be watching for if it gives a setup. CCC really isn't a chart setup other than you had the gap up 3 sessions ago, right? And then a big bullish engulfing the day after, but then a red day on Friday. So you basically have sideways chop now since the gap up. But it's super interesting to me because of this big bullish engulfing. And you could kind of call Friday, I mean, keep in mind, Friday was a Friday in July attached to a holiday week. So it was pretty dead out there. So you could just argue that I'm watching this because it's a recent high flyer and it hasn't rolled over, right? It's as simple as that. And then I'll be looking for an intraday setup that we look for, all right? Let's go to CRBU next. Extended, right? Had the gap up 2 sessions ago, gave a lot of it back, and then the very next session just ripped again. I want to say this is the one that I think Pfizer took a stake in, so that is a nice headline. And I never did find a way. Oops, I meant to go to 5 minute candles here. I never did find a way in on Friday. It just kind of rallied, pulled back, and then did a slow grind higher all day. And as a day trader, I really couldn't find anything as far as an entry. So I'm going to watch it, but I'd certainly like to see it, pull back for a few days. But we'll see. We'll see if it gives a setup. BBIG, big volume on Friday and a pretty strong close. Maybe a follow-through day tomorrow. BXRX. I got to zoom in so you can see this one better. But I've been watching this for a bounce. There's that, what was it, 5 sessions ago. And I'll click on that. It went from a low of 60 cents to a high of $1.40. Excuse me, $1.43. That's a big move, right? More than doubled. And now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 days lower on very small volume. So it's still, it's back down to the 8-day now, which is the blue line there. So it's still, to me, a valid setup. I don't really like trading stuff under $1, but it's still a valid setup for a potential turn back up this week. So that's BXRX. What's next? Beyond BYND, I've been talking about this chart. Looked pretty good, and it kind of broke out on Friday. That was called in the chat room. I will certainly be watching that for a continuation. Let me kind of pan out a little bit here so you can kind of see it a little better. It's got a lot of shorts in the name, and it's sort of breaking out to the upside here. So that one goes back on watch. Carvana, CVNA, a lot of shorts in the name. Pan out a little bit there. And it's held up really well. And so you could get a short squeeze in this thing. We'll see. We'll see if it gets set up. But worth noting that on Friday it moved from 24.68 to 29.81. That's a huge move, right? So I wouldn't mind it flagging for a couple days, but you never know. It's definitely worth having on a chart. RXT had a pop back here, a few days lower, and it's starting to curl back up. And then lastly, ACIU had this big rip, and it kind of pulled back to the 8-day, then a green day, and a little bit stronger green day on Friday. So I still like it. Kind of, if you switch to the weekly, you kind of had the big rip and then a kind of a narrow, quiet inside week. So I do think the daily chart is still bullish and worth watching. That's it. We'll add gappers as we always do in the pre-market on Monday. Hopefully find some good trades. We work together, we will. All right, I'm done babbling. We'll see you in chat.